12 steps of DA. Welcome.
Good morning. My name is Claude. I'm a debtor, under-earner, business owner. Thank you for asking me to speak, Ryan. I'm pinch hitting today. Welcome to the newcomers. Nobody ever came here on a winning streak, so you're in the right place. I was looking for an email yesterday. I needed to find a piece of information, and I couldn't find it, so I went into my spam box, which I never look at, but I thought maybe it landed in there. And I was just scanning through all the subjects, and everything is grow your income and grow your penis. I'm assuming everybody gets those, right? Not just to me. And it made me realize, the penis thing aside, the things that drive us here are not just found in these rooms. The insecurity that these people prey on about our manhood and about our bank accounts is out there. This is stuff that everybody deals with in and out of these rooms, and it makes me grateful to be here and to learn what I've learned and to have the recovery that I have because of the wisdom that I found in these rooms. I'll briefly go through the past. I'm first generation. My parents are foreigners. They grew up in the old country. My dad grew up in post-war Paris, and my mom is from Chile. Pretty humble background for both. And I don't know, maybe they grew up with a lot of fear and insecurity, but it's definitely something that got passed down to me. My parents were not alcoholics. They were not gamblers. What they were was they were addicted to rage. There's a lot of abuse in my story. A lot of just, abuse. And it makes a kid insecure and angry. So I walked around for a long time with anger and entitlement and just pretty much afraid of everything. And when you've actually been hit and knocked around more than a few times, fear is real. A lot of people imagine fear, like what's the worst that could happen? What are they going to do, punch you? Well, when you've actually been punched a few times, it's not imagined. And you certainly never want to go through it again. When it came to money, I actually just uncovered this in the process of doing a 4-step in this program. Lightning, as I understand it, happens when there's a lot of charged particles, and one up there and one down here match up, and there's an arc, right? And sometimes doing a 4-step is like that. There's just things that have been there all along, and all of a sudden, you see a straight line right through your past, through all your bullshit, everything you've done your whole life. It's just this perfect line that you're like, wow, how did I never see this before? And in doing this 4-step, it became really obvious that fear has made me live for today, or live for the moment. And that sounds cool, like, man, live for the moment, man. But it's not. It's not in the way I was doing it. This was more like a smash and grab, like thieves run in and like smash and just grab what they can and run out. That was how I approached life. It was with food, with women, with money, with everything. It was take while I could because I don't know when it's going to come around again. If a girl was actually talking to me, the idea was to get as far as I could because God only knows when another girl would talk to me. And the same with money. If I had it, I would hold on to it for what seemed like an eternity. Saving it up. It was really like 5 minutes. But it seemed like an eternity. And then I would reward myself for holding on to it for so long by buying, whatever it was. And I actually believed that complete bullshit. And when I came in to this program, kind of jumping around a little bit, I realized that I actually had a physiological addiction to the feeling of being in debt. It's a strange thing that I don't think anybody outside these rooms could really understand. But that crazy cycle of you fix your sights on something, you decide that life cannot go on without it, and then it's the dance of whatever it takes to get there. And then once you have it, the shame, just all the horrible feelings that come afterwards. And there's never really any enjoyment, but it's not about enjoyment, right? It's about not feeling uncomfortable, which is all an addict wants, is not to feel uncomfortable. And they will do something worse to not feel uncomfortable. That's crazy. If I've learned anything here, it's that, when things are spinning out and all this stuff, I have to stop and go, okay, what does this situation look like if I take my judgment off of it? The hardest thing when I came in was this idea of acceptance. Because it made it sound like, I just let shit happen. Like, whatever happens to me, I just accept it. And I couldn't do that. I couldn't, when I would hear people say, I just turn it over. I wanted to go up and shake them and be like, what the fuck does that mean? How do you do that? How do you just decide to let something go? How do you just decide to accept something? And I realized it wasn't about just letting things happen to me. It was about taking blame out of the equation. That's what the first step is about. It's about realizing that there is a disease here. That physiological addiction, that's the disease. I have it. I can choose to accept it, or I can choose to pretend it doesn't exist, or any number of character defects come into play if I just don't, get into acceptance and say, okay, I have this thing. It just is. I'm aware of it, I accept it, and now I can move forward appropriately, but that's, that is today. What brought me into the rooms was, a whole host of everything coming to a shitty turn all at once. I lost a job. Just nothing, I was at a point in my life where nothing was looking the way I thought it was supposed to. And it had been that way for a long time. I remember in my early 20s living alone and coming to a conclusion that I would never have the things in my life that I wanted. Completely believed it with every fiber of my being. And the more I sat with that, the more I decided, well, what's the fucking point? And was ready to kill myself. I had a syringe, I knew where to buy heroin, and I'm not an addict, but that's how I was going to say bye-bye. Because I was convinced, absolutely, that I would never have the things I wanted in my life. And I didn't do it, and I'm still here. And thank God for that. It's crazy how, when I think back on that, it's so long ago, it seems like, but how completely I believed it. There was no doubt. I had all the evidence in the world to prove, look, nothing has worked out. Nothing will work out. What's the fucking point? And to look at that from where I'm standing today is like, wow, I was conned by this fucking disease. Completely conned. That's 10. I have 5. It is a miracle that I am where I am today. I came into this room and spent about a year just watching characters on TV. I was very invested in the plot line, but I wasn't actually in the show yet. And I came in, I think, expecting people to fix me, just come up to me and fix me. And what finally happened was I decided to get interested in all of you, genuinely. To stop thinking about me and ask people, how are you? And actually give a shit. Not just can we get through your part so we can... I'm sure visual jokes go really well in the recording. And when that started to happen, I started to feel a part of something. And I've always been very suspicious of groups. Not a big joiner. But I have made some of the best friends I've ever had in my life in this room. And that is no joke. There are people in this room who have literally changed my life. I am married because of this program. I've known my wife for 18 years. We've been married for 3. I'm playing my ring. Because I was convinced, among many of my ridiculous ideas, that I was not going to condemn this poor woman to a life with me until I had my shit together. I was unworthy of her love, of the commitment, of all these things, until I had my ducks in a row, until things looked like this or that and the other. And then through just showing up and listening and doing the steps and all this stuff, I finally woke up one day and I looked at this woman and I was like, what are you doing, man? It's not going to get any fucking better. She's amazing. And she has stood by you for a lot longer than you fucking deserved. And to this day, our wedding day is a small, perfect thing that just I go back to in my mind because it's a gift. It is truly a gift of this program. I had the honor of hearing a sponsee's first step in this program a few weeks back. And it was my first sponsee in this program. It was an honor. Getting to sit down with a sponsee and respecting the trust that they've given in you, and to hear them share my story, a version of my story, is a gift. I'm blown away at how the steps work for me, but then getting to be on the other side of the table and listen it's amazing. I can't... Sometimes I get confused that the tools like vision and fellowship and all that stuff are the program. They aren't. They're tools of the program. The program is that. That's the program. For the recording, I'm pointing at the steps. That's where the rubber meets the road. That's where the truth comes out, and that's where you can't hide anymore. Let me tell you, this program has really sucked the joy out of buying shit. It doesn't work anymore. And some days that's a real bummer. But it just, I'll gladly trade that in for the gifts. I have an action partner who we check in most mornings. And one of the things that we do, besides talk about what we're doing for the day, is we list 5 things that we're grateful for. And some days it's really hard, which I think is the point. Because you don't always have a new car, So it's about micro-gratitude. It's about how my dog makes me laugh. Things... Because that laugh is real. It's not a sardonic laugh at someone's expense. It's not a gossipy laugh, Did you hear about so-and-so? Fucking idiot. Some mean, horrible laugh. This is, like, when you laugh because your dog makes you laugh, that is real laughter. Honest to goodness laughter. And I'm so grateful for our gratitude list every morning, even though some days it's very difficult. Because when I'm in gratitude, everything is clear. I have perspective. I can see through the disease to what's really going on. It's made me able to do things that I used to despise, like marketing. Marketing is self-care, I've learned. It's taking care of myself for tomorrow. Marketing used to be something that car salesmen did. This smarmy, glad-handed, disingenuous, thank you, thing, this marketing, where I was selling something, where I was giving somebody a bill of goods that was bullshit. And the more I believe in my value and my worth, thanks to this program, I realized that marketing is just talking. It's just letting people know I'm here, this is what I do, and I would love to do it with you for money. For a fair amount of money, because I'm worth it. Is that right? I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
I'll now turn the meeting over to our treasurer.